This is a place.
This is the place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Welcome to this week's episode of This is a Place podcast. My name is Nate.
And I'm Brandon.
And we forgot to think of a holiday we could do.
Ash Wednesday, Frederick Douglass Day. It's National Chance Day, National Christine Day. I don't know. Any of these any good?
And
It's
if only,
National. It's Lent. Lent, Ash Wednesday that begins today. That's important. That's big. But
yeah,
Organ Donor Day, Pet Theft Awareness Day. Any of these? What do you think? Maybe we should have talked about this before we
prior
started
to,
recording.
yeah, I forgot about that part.
I don't know which one you want to go with.
Um,
Wait a minute. It's Valentine's Day.
oh, let's just do that one.
Okay. Yeah, that's easier.
Back to the beginning. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.
Would it be smart to get married on Valentine's Day? I
Ooh,
think it's pretty easy to remember your anniversary.
yes. And
But would your spouse expect double gifts for that day?
Good point.
Hmm.
That's a slippery slope.
Should have thought that one through.
Yeah, we need to talk about Valentine's Day, but I do think we also need to talk about the Super Bowl.
What do we need to talk about, Brandon? What do we need to talk about?
That halftime show, man, it was the best.
I don't, I know who Usher is, and I obviously recognize a few of the songs, but I didn't recognize most of them.
Hmm. See, Usher, that CD that he's celebrating the 20th anniversary of. So he said, yeah, 20th anniversary. That was one of my first CDs I had.
Really?
He was getting big when I was, like 12 or whatever, whenever that was. And that CD, I guess I was 8 when it came out. But anyway, so yeah, I recognized a lot of those songs. And he even played, I was telling my wife, what if he played this one, like my favorite song? And he did. He did a part of that song. And I was really surprised because she's like, I don't know that song. Why would he play that song?
Oh, it's one of those songs that if you had the album,
I
you
mean, it's
recognize and
it's
love.
a it's a
Or,
hit, but it's not like one of the top songs. It's not Yeah
okay.
or My Boo. But I was happy with all of them. I called all the features. I said Alicia Keys was going to be there, Lil Jon, Ludacris, called all that, and so I don't know. I should have put some money on it, but I was very happy with the show.
Yeah, I thought it was decent. I think it was fun too when you pulled out the roller skates. I wonder if he grew up going to classic skating as well.
Oh, for sure. I
So,
skated to his music at classic skating.
okay.
That's so it was a whole nostalgia thing for me because up to that point there was nothing else happening in that game, right?
Yeah, nothing really. I mean, I thought it was interesting that Taylor Swift made the Super Bowl in her rookie season
Yeah.
and won the Super Bowl, so that's
Yep.
good.
Good job, Taylor.
I
Does
my
Taylor get a lot of love at your household?
my daughter likes Taylor, and she actually on Super Bowl Sunday when we were making our snacks, she was asking Alexa to play Taylor Swift songs.
Hmm.
I'm not a huge fan. I think even though I really don't even listen to her music, I'm already burnt out
Agreed. Yeah.
because she's everywhere. Not to say that she's not good, just I'm kind of burnt out. Same thing happened, to be honest with you, with Bruno Mars. I liked him when he first came out, and then he was like way overplayed.
Hmm.
And I'm still kind of in that boat of I still need more time. Yeah, I was gonna say my Bronco had no desire to watch the Super Bowl. But Rocky was watching it with us because he's a huge Sonic the Hedgehog fan,
Hmm.
and
You're
he
watching
really
the
wanted to.
Nickelodeon version then, right?
We were not. We probably should have. He was heard that they're gonna, even though he's already seen it, the trailer for Knuckles, which is a series, a show that's going to be on Prime, no, not Prime, Paramount Plus. And then at the end of the year, they have Sonic 3 coming out. So he wanted to see that trailer. So he sat up and watched the whole game with us, but he wasn't like really engaged in it. But he and his brother's Nintendo Switch pass or whatever, the online pass,
Yeah.
expired that day on Sunday.
Mm.
And he was in the middle of like playing a game. So I told him, I think it was towards the end of the third quarter, and I kept asking to the game who was going to win, and he always left who was winning, and it was like the 49ers. And then the end of the third quarter, when Kansas City took the lead, I wanted to see if he would switch teams. And I said, all right, tell you what, Rocky, this is I'll make you a wager. You can pick either one of the teams, and whatever team wins, or if you pick the team that wins, I will buy you your switch pass to put something on the line for him. And he went back and forth, and he finally decided. And Bronco came upstairs and heard the wager too, and said he wanted the red team. We're like, which red team? And I think he was saying Kansas City. So Rocky went with Kansas City, and it was hilarious watching him watch the fourth quarter because he was like, just like me watching the game,
Stressed
right?
out.
Because he really yeah.
Engaged.
So it's different watching any game or sports game when something's on the line. So it was fun. So it was worth the whatever money I'm gonna have to pay now to buy his
I think it's like 60
online
bucks.
pass. Yeah, 60, $70 or something like that. So yeah, it
That's
was a fun
interesting.
game, obviously. I really wanted it to go end the first quarter of overtime, because I guess they
Mm,
would have gone into a second quarter,
yeah.
just to say that it was like the longest game in NFL history or something like that. But I just saw a still picture that on that last play where they scored to win the game, one of their linemen was illegally downfield blocking.
What?
Mm. Yeah,
Oh man.
so they cheated. So unfortunately, they're gonna have to you know, give up their Super Bowl trophy.
Yeah, because that's how that works.
Yeah. Yep.
I could still, I
100%.
mean, even if that happened, what down were they on? They probably still could have made it, right? So I guess we'll
Sure.
never know. We'll never know.
I don't understand. I don't think a lot of the players didn't understand the new overtime rules.
Right.
So I really don't understand why San Francisco wanted the ball first in overtime, knowing that they get the ball back no matter what, just like college
Mm-hmm.
overtime rules, right?
You always
Like you
defer.
never want the ball first. You want to defer it. So, because it's a little different playing knowing that you can't punt it. You're going to get four downs no matter what. It's a different mindset. Um, and then when it is fourth down and you know you have to score, you're going to play different. So I feel like San Francisco made a mistake in that aspect, but it's interesting to see that Kansas City won back to back, and we'll see if they can make it a triple.
Now
And
I'm
we'll
all
see if Taylor
in.
Swift's still around next year.
After the Travis Kelsey yelling at the very end, I think their relationship is over. That was pretty embarrassing.
Yelling, or the one when he yelled at the coach.
Well, both actually,
We
but
saw his domestic violence side of him.
yes, he is everything she sings against. But it's fun. I'm not. I don't have a. I don't have any skin
Dog
in
in
the
the fight.
game. I don't have a dog in the fight. I just like the Super Bowl for the food, and it's kind of just become a holiday to me. It's just another
Yeah.
food holiday, and so
Ooh,
I think that if maybe maybe if they legalize betting in Utah, maybe I would put someone in the line so that I am in the same boat as Bronco, and I actually am paying attention to because I have some skin in the game, but I'm engaged
right.
in the Super Bowl. But maybe if there was something like that the whole season, it would get me more engaged in the sport all year round. I mean, I'm all in for college football, but NFL not so much.
Yeah. Professional sports in general is getting harder and harder to watch with all the politics that's involved in it and the money involved. College football is heading down that same path, so
It
I feel like
is.
that could be ruined quickly. But going back to your halftime show, I didn't know this, and it makes more sense because growing up watching the Super Bowl, halftime shows weren't what they were until 1993 when Michael Jackson was the halftime entertainment.
Hmm.
But you know why they changed up their format of the halftime and started doing big celebrities or artists?
I don't know
Because
why.
in 19, I think it was 1992. Do you
When
remember
I
this
was
show?
born,
Are you old enough? When you were born? Do you remember this show or heard of the show in Living Color that had like
yeah.
Jim Carrey and
Or wait a minute. No, actually, I'm not
it
sure
was
what
like it was like
color.
Fox's it was like Saturday Night Live, Mad TV style skit show.
Hmm.
That's where Jim Carrey,
Um,
I think, really
I've
got his
heard it, but I
start.
don't. I don't think I know much about it.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so crazy. So there was a show called In Living Color, and it wasn't filmed live. It was kind of like Mad TV where they did skits, like Saturday Night Live, like I just said,
Saturday Night Live, but not live.
but not live,
Saturday Night
uh,
Live. Saturday night pre-recorded.
pre-recorded. But what they decided to do that year of '92 Super Bowl was on Fox. They were going to do a live 20-minute episode of In Living Color
Hmm.
during halftime. And so there was something like 20 million people switched over to the Fox channel to watch the Living Color live show during halftime. And so I think that's when the NFL was like, oh crap, we got to figure out a way to keep people on our channel during halftime so they don't leave.
Gotta find
And
a way to
that's
make
when the
money
next
on
year,
this.
yeah. So next year they hired Michael Jackson to come do the halftime show. And the rest is history. I mean, that was a pretty crazy, wild halftime show. It was really cool. That was
And
like
he
one of
did.
Michael Jackson's, I think, memorable moments in his life.
Didn't he do two? He did one, and then he did another one later.
I don't think
Because
so. I
I
think he
I
just
feel
did the
like I
one.
watched him do a halftime show.
Yeah, that one was huge. There's
I
Michael
mean, his
Jackson
sister did
popping up.
one, right?
She did with Justin Timberlake.
I saw a funny meme or whatever that said it's nice to be in the age where you're the demographic that they cater the halftime show to. So I'm finally in that range.
Okay.
That's why I'm getting
Where
Usher, and I'm
where
like,
you're old enough when they start doing the nostalgic halftime shows, is that what you're saying?
yeah, yeah. And that's how old I'm getting, right? Not a good thing,
Yeah.
but also a good thing. So, like, I really enjoyed they had the LA one 2 years ago with Snoop Dogg, 50 Cent. I like that one. Even though it was a little bit before my time, I still like the music. What was it last year? I can't even remember. Oh, it was Rihanna. So that's also kind of my time. I wasn't always a huge Rihanna fan, but it'll be interesting to see what they do next year. I wonder if they'll finally convince Taylor Swift to do it. Could you
Ooh, would
imagine?
that put pressure on Travis Kelce to make the Super Bowl? Or if
Uh,
he doesn't, that'd be embarrassing that he would have to go to the Super Bowl and he's
yeah,
not
and
even in
not
it.
he's not playing in it, but there's the tons of celebrities, tons of football players still go to the Super Bowl even if they're not in it, right? But um, I will say I don't have a team. I'm not going to say I'm a Kansas City fan. I wanted the 49ers to win this game, but now that Kansas City has won, I want them to win again next year because I think a three-peat would be kind of cool. And
Just to
I
see the history.
yeah, and I really do like Patrick Mahomes. I liked Travis Kelce, not so much now after his antics, But and you gotta love Andy Reid, right? He's a BYU
Oh, of
guy.
course.
And so for that, I'm like, you know what? If they go and they have this dynasty, well, they're already a dynasty. But if they go and win three in a row, that would be pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
There's no team's done that, right? No one's done
Yeah,
three in a row.
not in football at least, right?
Right.
Not in the NFL.
Yeah, I think for that reason, I think there's going to be a lot of fans that go that way as well. They went from kind of being the villain, the hero to the villain, and then maybe back to the hero.
Yeah, that's how they are for me. Like once they were the villain when they were playing, and I wanted them to lose. But then when they won, I'm like, okay, I'm all in. They can win again next year.
Yeah, I get that. I'm kind of like in that same boat, even though they are in the Broncos conference or a division, I should say, conference and division.
But the Broncos don't stand a chance to win the Super Bowl
And
next
we finally beat them after
year.
like so many. I mean, I don't know how many years it took that they beat us in a row, but it's crazy because like the division championships, like for our division, like Kansas City had the least amount
It's
just a few
completely
years
flipped.
ago, and then it's flipped where they now have the most
That's
since Andy
crazy.
Reid has come on board. Doggone it, you Andy Reid. So yeah, football, it's over. Now we can focus on basketball. March Madness is around the corner, so now we get into basketball, start paying attention.
Summer comes, we got
Um,
the college football game coming out. We can focus on that.
we can focus on that. Well, you got like the XFL and USF, US, what is it? USFL?
Yeah, then they merge.
Yeah, they merged. You got that coming. So
Super excited
there's always
about that.
something. There's always something. There's always something to pay attention to.
And
Baseball starting up.
we haven't really even we mentioned it a little bit actually in a future episode, but we haven't even talked about the A's or the hockey team recently. There's been a lot of news and we have just haven't even mentioned it on the podcast. I mean, we're aware of it. And I even made a reel, a YouTube reel. Check it out, or one of two videos we have.
All
But
right.
yeah, that'd be cool. It's looking more and more likely. Number one, the A's are coming to Utah because nobody else can make as big of a pitch as and big as a promise as we can
And
with the availability and
accommodations too.
accommodation. Good point, yeah. And also, um, those Coyotes, man, Ryan Smith, he put out the thing and said, "Yeah, we want an expansion team," but he also kind of left it open and be like, "We're ready next year, as early as next year." So if things don't work out in Phoenix, things don't work down south, maybe we'll get a team sooner if the Coyotes thing doesn't work out.
In Vegas, you can bet against almost anything. They have bets for everything. And right now, Utah landing an NHL team is the highest, what do you call it, the most likely to happen.
Really?
We're leading the Vegas odds on getting an NHL expansion team or just an
Well,
NHL team, I guess, in general.
I have a wager against Matt right now. He's trying to say that I said Utah will have an expansion team by next year. I don't think I said that. I think I said that we'll have a team by next year. And that was when it was announced that he was trying to get an expansion team. I'm like, we're gonna have a team by next year. He's like, not a chance. And then the whole Coyotes thing was coming out more. And then he's like, okay, maybe, but that wasn't the bet. So it's kind of like a whole Ross and Rachel situation. We were on a break,
Not on a break.
but the difference being, I didn't say that. That wasn't the bet. Whatever you want to say. So fun times, lots to come, but we're not talking about all that today. What we're really talking about is Valentine's Day.
Yes. Is there really anything that's like Utah specific for Valentine's Day?
Not a
And
lot.
if there is, please let us know so that next year we can hit it up. So instead, we decided to keep up with the theme, and it might just be our yearly tradition until somebody tells us, hey, Valentine's in Utah, this is very specific to Utah.
Mm.
We decided to go, last year we went to Bombay House, but we went with our wives. This year we decided to go just me and you, enjoy
Bro date.
the company of each other,
Yes.
and we hit up Flavors of India.
Which is it's not, no, I guess it's not always a buffet, but they have a buffet
No,
option.
no. Yeah, the buffet, it sounds like from my understanding, they had a buffet for a while, they took it away, and they just brought it back like last October.
So we had to
But
hit it
it's a
up.
lunch buffet. So they have a lunch buffet.
Yeah,
My
we'll get
wife and I went shortly after we went to Bombay House last year because she really enjoyed the Indian food and she's really into it now. And her coworker, who's really a Indian food fan, told us to go check that place out. So we did. The cool thing is that if you have the Wasatch Savings book, they're in there. They have a 2 for 1. I don't know if it works on the lunch buffet, but like I said, last year when we were there, they didn't have the lunch buffet, and the guy was telling us that they were bringing it back, and then you can see their little banners and stuff outside the restaurant advertising it. So I was always curious, what does an Indian food buffet look like? Because if you went to Bombay House or even Flavors of India and you didn't do the buffet, it's usually 15-ish bucks for your entree, right?
Hmm.
Then another $2 to $3 if you get a drink, and then another $2 to $3 if you get the naan. So when we saw that the buffet was only, was it $18?
Yeah, I guess kind of comes out to about 20
It's like
bucks,
20 bucks
taxes
after
and
tax
everything.
and everything, and then you get your tip on top of that. So 20 bucks. I'm like, and I guess for a bigger dude like me, when you go to Bombay House and stuff like that, they bring you out a bowl of rice and then your curry or whatever is in a smaller bowl. So it's not like a whole lot of food for 15 bucks. So if you're super hungry, you may not get full if you just go on a regular night to an Indian food restaurant. But a
Mm.
buffet, there's no chance of leaving hungry because you can eat as much as you want. And that is what we did.
And I think it's cool too because I mean, I kind of always go for the same thing, right? I know what I
Yeah.
like, and so I get it. But
Yeah.
with a buffet, you can try something different and you can still have that thing you like and but also branch out and
Yeah. And try a couple
experiment.
of, yeah. 'Cause that's the worst when you go to a restaurant like that and you're spending 20 bucks on a meal and then you venture out and try something that you don't like. You're like, yeah, I should have stuck with what I know.
But you don't have that
But
risk here.
my,
You can try a little bit of everything.
yeah. And my favorite part of the experience was Brandon has an allergy to cashews. And so he asked the waiter the one or two times we actually ever saw him, which is funny because it was me and Brandon, and there was a couple right behind us. We sat in the exact same booth my wife and I sat in last year, so I've never sat anywhere else in that restaurant. But there was just two tables the whole time we were there, right?
And
But
they
we were
left and then
completely,
other people came in and filled that same spot.
oh, really?
Yeah, I think they sat in the same place where the previous couple had sat.
Oh, okay.
So
So
they
they had
must
like the
only
two
use
tables.
those two spots at
It
any
must be
given
the most
day.
convenient to see. I don't know. But we were kind of ignored the whole time we were there, which is fun. I get it's a buffet, but same time, like I really needed a drink
Mm.
and it was hard to eat because I was so thirsty because the curry can get a little spicy.
This
And
curry's
Brandon,
making me thirsty.
you, and then you suggested grabbing my cup and walking around acting like I'm looking for the soda fountain, but instead I started slurping my snort aloud, and then that didn't work either. But he eventually came over another 5, 10 minutes later. But like I said, it was, I mean, I get it. Like I said, it's a buffet, so like you get your own food, but it'd be nice to be checked on at least once every 5 minutes,
Yeah,
10 minutes, or just walk by. Like if it's busy, I get it. But he was just sitting there
he was
watching
busy. He was
TV.
watching TV.
He's watching TV. He was into the show. But let's go back to the cashew allergy. So when he was helping us out, so Brandon asked, which I have a cashew allergy. Which things should I stay away from? And what did he do at first? Instead of like saying which ones had cashews, he went through everyone, which was quite a bit of them. Like 80% of them don't have cashews. So he started pointing at each thing that didn't have cashews. It was so hard to remember what
I
was
like
which. And then Brandon started asking me, I'm like, I don't remember. And so we brought him back over for a second time, and he starts doing it again. I'm like, oh, hey, buddy, how about this?
tell
Just
me
point out to
which
the
one
ones
I
that
can't.
have cashews. Let's start with that. Because there was
Yeah.
only like two at the end, right? That had
Yeah, only
cashews.
two, right. Just have
So it was
everything
just
except for these two. That's it.
it was, I mean, I guess we could have done the opposite and just remembered ourselves like which ones didn't, but it was like so confusing because with the accent and all that stuff to know what he was saying or whatever because he was still pointing at each one and you're just like, okay, dude, this is way too
Well,
complicated.
the second time he came over, I'm like, I need to ask him again. He comes over and I like take out my notes. And I'm like, even I was confused by that. I mean, I should have done the logical thing and be like, just tell me, like you said, which
Tell me
ones
which ones not
do
to eat
have
and I
it.
can note those. I'll note those down.
But I was gonna write
Which
down
things
every single one because I think the way he did it, it made me think there was more than just two. And that's where I got confused.
Yeah, I think I was in the same boat. I was like, I can't remember because he was pointing at each one and saying which ones did and didn't. Like we're gonna have a pop quiz.
And then asking, like, confirming with the people in the back at the same time. So it was a whole
There was a lot
thing.
of confusion. There was a lot of confusion. So
but I
Moral of the story is
did not
don't
have
have a
cashews.
cashew allergy. That's the easiest way to do it.
But I didn't have anything that had cashews, so I was safe. You know, you can never be 100% sure with the cross contamination, things being in the same kitchen, but I did not have any reaction to what I ate, so it was a win for me.
Right. We got our food. It was good. I think it tasted just as good as when I went and I ordered my entree, but I was able to try a variety of curries. They have regular rice, white rice, and they had like, was it like a lemon rice or
Yeah,
something?
I didn't actually have any. I just stuck with white rice the whole
I
time.
know, I know. Maybe I should have ventured out and tried the lemon rice, but
I was still confused on what had cashews.
it's a little nervous. Maybe the lemon rice had cashew
Yeah,
in it.
I didn't want to look too close in case it jumped up and grabbed me.
This is a total tangent. It's not even the right. So I think is it Five Guys that has peanuts that you can eat?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Do you
they
know
have
why they do that?
why?
Why they have peanuts there for you to just eat
I don't know.
out in
So
the open
won't
and
be so
peanut
hungry,
shells have no. It's because they cook a lot of their food in peanut oil,
right?
and if they have those peanuts there, then it will make someone with a peanut allergy be
Mm.
more cautious, and then it avoids a lawsuit. So it's cheaper than getting sued by somebody saying you didn't warn us about the peanut
That's
allergies.
smart.
That's supposedly, I don't know. That
My
could be
wife has
totally
a peanut
false.
allergy, so she does not eat Five Guys. It's probably my favorite fast food burger.
Really?
Yeah. And so I will always get it when my wife's gone or out of town or like she has a girls' night out or whatever. I'm like, Five Guys.
When
That's where
it's,
I'm going.
when it's just you, you're
Just
there.
me.
My wife used to have a peanut allergy, and then I think something with the pregnancies changed it, so she doesn't have it anymore. It's kind of interesting. She's been healed.
I got better.
So, what was your overall take on the food compared to, well, I guess Pompey House?
I don't know. I mean, I don't really want to get as much into comparing the two, but they are different. Um, to
Yeah.
me, Bombay is a little more polished and maybe
Could you say fancier? Would that be the word?
I guess they try to play it up a little bit more. Like maybe they are trying to cater to a Western Utah demographic, like our image of like a classy Indian restaurant, right? They've got
Right.
the mood lighting, they've got kind of decorations, makes you feel like you're in the Taj
It's
Mahal or
and then
something.
you got like well, at least the one we went to was like it was dim, like it felt like a classier restaurant for that reason.
Right. And it's probably a little more pricey too. You've got the waiters and the staff who are kind of dressed the part, so to say, right? They're kind of dressed in that Indian attire. And so for me, I think it's a little more I love Bombay. Not this isn't a knock, but they're trying to do a presentation of look how classy this is for, you know, your ideal view of India. Does that make sense what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And the difference between that and Flavors of India is they just go all in on probably how a Indian restaurant is, how it would be if you were in India. Like all the shows they've got probably like five different shows or programs playing on screens throughout the restaurant. And it's all Bollywood, it's all Indian TV. Everything was in the language.
Yeah. 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 Like if it would be, I guess analogy could be like if you were going to your friend's house for an Indian themed night,
Yeah.
they decorate it as so, where Bombay is more
It's more classy.
classy, I guess you could say.
But that's not to knock Flavors of India though. Like
No.
it's not like it was a dive or it wasn't, you know, presented well. Um it's just different. It's felt more
Yeah, the atmospheres
casual.
of both places are yeah, are definitely are different.
Yeah, you've got yeah, there's no TVs in Bombay, but there's a bunch of TVs in Flavors of India, so much so that the wait staff is getting caught up on whatever's on
They
TV.
love their TV.
They love the TV. I was trying to like take a picture of it because there was even a part I was watching this TV. It said sing along with the show or whatever, and it had like a microphone pop up when you could kind of do karaoke along with whatever you're watching. I'm like, that's just so different. That's just it's kind of cool just to get a peek into maybe what Indian culture is. I've never watched a Bollywood movie or anything like that, so I think that was kind of cool. You're a little more immersed in their culture. And one of the other TVs they had playing was just showing, I mean, they get the restaurant dolled up because it was pictures of them having events and parties there. And I was watching, and there was the people that we saw there. I'm sure they're a family, and they had pictures of them like at a party. And I saw like our waiter and the other people that were there when we got there. So yeah, it's just different. It's just a different vibe
Yeah. Yeah,
than
Bombay,
Bombay.
and maybe that's another way to say it. Bombay is definitely more commercial, more, they
More
have multiple
polished.
locations, more corporate,
Mm-hmm.
where this Flavors of India is like seems very family run.
Yeah,
Like it's a family that's running it.
right.
So maybe that's another difference as well. But I think both are good. I like both. I don't think the what do you call the quality of the food was any different being on the buffet line. Because that happens sometimes too, right? When you go to even like pizza joints are the worst for pizza buffets.
Mm-hmm.
Because pizza, when it's been sitting out for 3 hours, tastes so much different than if it's right out of the oven.
Right.
But, but most buffets, it's the quality isn't as good if you're going to order off of a menu and have the food brought out to you. But for
Comparing
the
the
value, and you know that's what I love. I love the value. I think the value is 100% there. And especially if you're venturing into like you maybe have never really tried Indian food
Oh, that's a great way to do
or
it.
yeah, I think that's a great way to start so you can kind of figure out which flavor curry or whatever you like the most.
Maybe the best part
And
about it being a buffet too is you never have enough A room or B money to get or I'm not willing to pay to get more and have a dessert, right? Even though they usually have pretty great offerings, like especially at Bombay, they have some really yummy sounding things. But actually at Flavors of India, you've got dessert in the buffet. So, you know, we had two options. They had like a rice pudding and then some kind of a mango
it looked like
pudding
a
thing.
mango sauce, but I feel like there was more, it wasn't mango like uh pieces of fruit. I
It was
think there
like
was a mixture of
pineapple
fruit. Yeah,
too.
it was like a almost like a fruit salad, but the sauce was more like this thicker mango-y looking thing. I wonder if that's an Indian dessert.
I'm gonna
We
actually
need to.
look at the menu because I'm just curious what it
Do
was.
they have a menu for the buffet?
It's not for the buffet, but I'm assuming if they have it on the buffet, they're gonna have it. I'm sorry, if they have it on here, it's probably gonna be listed. If they
On
had it
the
at the
menu?
buffet, it's gonna be listed in the menu as well. You know what I mean?
Was it a custard?
I don't know. Did you find it?
I just Googled like Indian fruit salad and then it gave me a choice of a fruit custard, salad custard, and that looks most like it.
So there's so kheer, probably saying it wrong, is what we had. It was a rice pudding. It says traditional rice pudding with a divine taste. Did you think it had a divine taste, Nate?
I think I talked to you at the restaurant about this, but on my mission, you got like three things usually for dessert, sometimes four. One was fruit salad, just regular fruit salad you get out of a can. Two, like an apple or an orange. And then three was it's called arroz con leche, which is rice pudding.
Mm-hmm.
But I had arroz con leche, and then every once in a while you get dulce de leche stuff, and that was great. But I had so much rice pudding on my mission that I got to the point where I'd almost gag eating it. So it had been a long, long time, I believe, since I've had like rice pudding. So to me, it just tasted like rice pudding, but maybe it was something different.
I'll be honest, I'm not seeing what we had on this list. There's something called,
Wait, it's all blurry,
what is that?
but this kind of looks like it says it says microwave fruit custard, eggless fruit custard. So maybe it had eggs in it.
So they've got something called
Did they have?
kulfi, which I think is the close. It usually looks like it's in an ice cream type. It's more ice cream consistency, but I could see them making it. like the pudding type thing they had. So I
Yes,
don't
I
know.
don't think it was mango. I'm pretty sure. I'm going with because this one says fruit custard is one of my favorite desserts. If you are, anyways, it says I always prefer fruit-based desserts with the goodness of milk, custard powder, and my favorite fruits like banana and apple is one of my yummiest desserts.
I think there was
So
apple
it
in it.
sounds,
Yeah.
but I feel like it was a fruit custard. That's what I'm going to go with. That makes more sense.
Either way, it was pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, I really liked it. So it wasn't like you got like ice cream or a cookie that some of the other different buffets have that
Mm.
aren't Checorama. So I think, but it was something sweet. I always like something sweet to finish off a meal. So yeah, I was overall pleased. You get your curry, you get your drink, you get your naan, and then you get your custard
And they
or
give you non-options
rice
too.
pudding,
You can get normal, butter, or garlic. So that's
garlic.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's a value. It's a good value.
it's a good deal. It's a great way for somebody to dip their foot in if they want to try Indian food and have a really easy entrance to it, you know? So if you've been wanting to try it, but too worried to go get the full experience, a lunch buffet at Flavors of India is a great way to do it. And
Or
you can
if you know
advocate
what you
for
like,
the
I was just saying, if you know what you like and you have the Wasatch Shavings book, it's you get to buy one, get one free once a year in that book. So it'd actually be cheaper than doing the buffet, even with getting your, well, I don't know. At the same time, by the time both of you order naan and a drink, you might be closer to the same price as the buffet.
yeah, buffets, that's hard to beat. It's it's a good deal. But yeah, check it out. It's in West Jordan, Redwood Road.
Like 90th South and Redwood Road. It's right behind the Wingers and in front of the AMC movie theater.
And you know, we're always for you know, we're always up for supporting the mom and pop shops, the family run businesses. So I think we like it for that aspect and give it a shot. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I mean, obviously, we're going to do the podcast for 20 plus years.
Easily.
We're going to have to find the next Indian restaurant. So if anybody has a recommendation for what we can do next year, this is going to be our new tradition, like you said, until we find out what that pure Valentine's Utah thing is. Let us know. Otherwise, I'm happy to either go with you just a bro day, or if we take our wives, try some different Indian foods. I've
Yeah.
been a couple others, so I have some others in mind, but I'd be curious to hear what people's favorites are and which one we should try next.
I did have one other thought that we could have done for Valentine's Day, but the hard thing is that it this episode falls on Valentine's Day. We were just joking at the beginning. We knew it was Valentine's Day. We weren't.
We're
If you
not
didn't catch
dummies.
our sarcasm, but I thought it'd be fun to do like a list of um things you can do on Valentine's Day. So maybe like the
Hmm.
week prior next year that we can go over a list of things to do with your Valentine on Valentine's Day here in Utah. That may or may not be like specific to Utah, but just some places you can go and see and do. But it'd be kind of pointless to do that episode today when it's last minute, right? If you don't listen to the episode early in the day, then you might not have those. So yeah, well, maybe next year.
It's on the 12th
Or
next year. If we keep the Wednesday schedule, that'll give people 2 days. You got the 12th, 13th, and then the 14th. So it might give them
or we
enough time to plan.
or
Eh,
we can do it the week before. We can
That's true.
no, that's well, we can do that.
We
We can do
make the
that. There's
rules.
two episodes. Two episodes. The week before we talk about what you can do on Valentine's Day, and then
Mm,
the 12th we go to our Indian restaurant.
I love
Boom.
it.
We already got February planned out. So
February 2025 is in the bag.
in the
Let's just
bag.
let's just record it right now. Like
And
we'll just we'll just knock it out.
we'll be talking about Kansas City Chiefs having their three-peat. So
We just might be.
you've heard it here, folks. We've already predicted the future.
And we'll also be cheering on the Utah Yeti, our new NHL team.
And buying our tickets to the A's game.
We're making a lot of predictions for February 2025.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, we'll see you then.
Gonna be a good year. It's
Oh,
gonna
we'll
be a
also
good
see you
year.
next week. Thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
And this was a place we just talked about.